All right, what's up, everybody? We're live on the PTTA podcast. I'm here with Tuhon, Jared, Wihongi, and today we're just going to talk about generally what's it like being a Tuhon in the PTTA. First of all, anything new happening in your world? Any travel dates? Anything interesting?
Yeah, I mean, travel dates. Fortunately, the summer's pretty quiet, and I kind of intentionally kept it that way. But I do have coming up in the month coming up. We do have our USA conference here in Utah. So it's our PTTA USA conference. It goes from Friday to Sunday. It's a 3-day event. If you haven't found the details on that, or if you're interested, go to our website, teampekiti.com, and look at the calendar, and you'll find details. It's always a good time. We spend a day training up in the mountains. We have meals together. It's just a fun time for a good crash course. And then the 3 days prior to that is our TRICOM conference. So we do with this year we're doing weapon retention and duty knife as a backup weapon. So it's 3 days and instructor certification in those two topics. So and then later on. We've got in the year, I've got a seminar in Virginia. We've got that coming up in, I believe, the first weekend of November. While I'm kind of talking about this, because I always forget seminars that I have coming out, got some other police courses that I'll be teaching. Some helping out with some riot control classes with my that side of my business. And fortunately, I'll be spending some time with you, Paulo, filming some new content so we can get some more online content out to our followers out there. And then we have Germany. In September, I'll be teaching, doing some grading in Germany, 2 days of grading. And then we've got a 2-day seminar, 16th and 17th of September. And then I'll be teaching in Switzerland for the first time, doing a TRICOM course on the 19th and 20th of September in Bern, Switzerland. So group can contact me out there about that. Might be back in Qatar in October. That's a possibility for some more police training. And we got our big Philippines camp in November, which is always a great time. I'm sure we'll talk more about that too.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. And that's scaling down for you, huh?
Yeah, it is scaling down, and it is still a lot. But there was once upon a time pre-pandemic, I would spend 6 to 7 months out of the year on the road collectively, not like all back to back, but spread out throughout the year, about 6 to 7 months traveling and teaching seminars and whatnot. So yeah, definitely try to scale back, and that gives me time to create more online content so we can actually reach more people around the world that are looking for this kind of training. So
right. Is it beginning to be like a little bit difficult to manage? Because, as an organization expands, you can only do so much. And how do you maintain all of these relationships from people from different countries? Because you keep getting called back, right? Yeah. And you get called back on two fronts. One is on the professional security, defense, law enforcement, military side, and then on the martial arts side, Pekiti Tirsia side.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit more as far as like following up with the relationships I have with these different I like to call them friends, but clients around the world because they are friends. Yeah, we build great friendships, but I'm a little bit reactive on that part just because of the number of things that are grabbing my attention. It's hard for me to. Because I always think about the different people around the world that I have trained with, and maybe I haven't heard from some for a long time and whatnot, but I just don't have the opportunity all the time to keep in constant contact with them. And so a lot of times when they contact me is about scheduling another event or just, hey, how you doing? Is when I get to catch up with people. So don't be afraid if anyone's out there to just send me a message and say, hey, if you kind of think about it, because I am in a position where I'm oftentimes more reactive in maintaining those relationships. But fortunately, people, even though I'm not constantly sending reminders to people do contact me and to reschedule things. And I enjoy being able to accommodate those training requests when I can.
No, that's really that's super understandable, right? And I like that you mentioned that you're constantly thinking about your friends, your clients, your students, but it's not that you're being proactive in contacting them and saying, hey, how's it going? Because that can there's a lot of people involved.
It really is.
So what does it mean to be a Tuhon in the Pekiti Tirsia Tactical Association?
It's a privilege, For those that know me, I'm not the kind of person that likes to set myself on a pedestal or it has to be in the limelight. I like to do what I do, but just kind of in the most low key way possible. But and I've intentionally tried to organize the PTTA in a way that I'm not like the head of the organization, though I am, but I try and set up in a way where there's more of a committee, a group of leaders that contribute to building this organization and ideally provide opportunities for instructors around the world to have a platform to be able to market themselves and to teach and do good in their their goals to train personally and also to teach for those that aspire to be instructors. So it's a big responsibility, but fortunately, I have a great team of people that help me with those responsibilities too. So it's good. It's fun. I love what I do what I love to do, and I enjoy it. Like I said, I don't always put myself out there to be then sometimes to a fault. Sometimes I don't get out there and be a leader that some people that need moving forward with the Pekiti Tirsia Tactical Association, but because I'm just a little bit low key personality wise, but it's fun and it's a great responsibility and I enjoy it.
So then, as the PTTA grows, how do you personally ensure the standard of quality as far as ranks and certifications go, ranks specifically? And also, there must be folks within the PTTA global network that aren't currently ranked to where their skill, character, and ability, knowledge are, right? So there's got to be like a catch-up thing.
There is. There's kind of a balance between, because quality control, I've found that personal touch, that attending personal training, you're able to really glean things that is harder to do online. So that personal touch is important, but at the same time, there's a lot to be said about quality control through online medium. And what I mean by that is, before we had Pekiti University, for example, sometimes as I travel around the world, if I hadn't been to a certain area for a while, maybe a group started teaching a particular drill. I'm just going to say wrong. Sometimes it's not wrong; it's different. If it works, it's still right. It's just wrong. It's different. It's not wrong. It's just different. Is what I'm trying to say. But so just as far as like quality control, that online platform gives people a reference where they can see in a video, oh, okay, that's how that technique is supposed to be performed, or that's how that specific drill is supposed to go. And rather than kind of letting things sometimes deteriorate. And so the combination of the two I found is optimal. And one independent of the other can be great. People obviously have become great martial artists way before the internet era. And so you don't need the internet to become a great martial artist, but it just provides a platform to get exponential returns. You're reaching much more people around the world. And so when done right and people use the medium correct, quality control can be really good through online medium, so long as people are taking the time to actually train it. Not just, you find people that, oh, okay, I learned the drill. Okay, what's next, right? That's not how you train martial arts. You don't just learn the drill and then ask what's next. You learn the drill and you get the repetition and constant repetition. Go back to it, because repetition's the mother of skill. And even if it's just the fundamentals, or maybe just those fundamental 1 and 2s and footwork, I found that my biggest asset as an instructor came from teaching new people constantly. Okay, back when I was teaching in a specific gym on a weekly basis, and I'd have new students come in, and I found myself constantly teaching those fundamentals over and over and over. And over the years, I was the one that benefited the most from that, because I got some great repetition of just those fundamentals. And fundamentals are the most important part of any martial art. Fundamentals win fights. So, yeah.
Right. That makes sense. Speaking about Tuhons and the responsibility of Tuhons, I'm wondering, and ranking and grading. There are currently 3 Tuhons in the PTTA. Will there be any new ones coming up? Is there a cap? maybe talk to us about what it takes to
Yeah, no, absolutely. One thing I can say about the PTTA is that we make sure that our ranks are earned, okay, through like as you mentioned earlier, the three things that we're looking for: skill, knowledge, and character, right? So we make sure that our ranks are earned. We don't prematurely promote anyone. We make sure that they're covering those three bases, and so we have a lot of our people within our ranks that sometimes might not have a rank that someone else might have in another organization, but have been in the system longer and oftentimes have a better skill set. It's just it's kind of put it bluntly. It's just the way it is. So not every organization ranks equally. We take pride in making sure that our ranks are deserved and earned through that. And it doesn't have to be time. It's not the number of years, as Grant Tuhon would always say. It's the number of hours, right? So I could have been in the I've been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since 1994, but I still consider myself a white belt. So if it was by the number of years, I'd be black belt plus, right? But it's not. I don't have the hours in that particular system. So it's not the number of years; it's the number of hours that you put into training. And you can see it when someone's skill set is, this guy's been training. They've been putting their hours in, and so but they reach that skill, knowledge, and character. And back to your question, yeah, we will have more Tuhons. We've got a lot of people that are deserving of that particular rank promotion, and those will be forthcoming when the time's ready.
So yes, there will be some new Tuhons coming up in the PTTA.
Yes.
And what is your expectation of them? Because I mean, your rank is Tuhon also. So rank wise within the organization, it's equal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the rank is the same. One of the things that organizationally that we do within the PTTA is with every consecutive year of activity, right? So if I'm training, I'm hosting seminars. That's not a necessity, but if I'm the most senior instructor in an area and I'm trying to progress, if I'm not traveling to attend seminars, maybe I'm bringing higher level instructors in to host seminars. I'm just finding ways to progress. Maybe I'm teaching constantly, and that keeps me active. For those that are active every year, they of their promotion after their promotion to a particular rank, they get a hagdan. Right, hagdan is in Filipino is a step, right, a step up. So you may be, Tuhon, of the fifth hagdan. The fifth, that means you've been 5 years of activity as a Tuhon. So even though you have the same rank, we do have this hagdan system that I guess delineates how long someone's been seniority within a particular rank.
Yeah. And what advice might you have for students within the PTTA who don't feel like they have the rank that they actually, quote unquote, deserve, right?
Honestly, I would encourage you to contact us and let's fix that. Let's fix that, because we have systems in place. If maybe a lot of times it happens because of just in-person training opportunities. Right. We actually have a system in place now where we can get people promoted to the rank that they do deserve. And again, sometimes it's not the fault of the individual that they haven't had the chance to just be with someone that has the authority to rank them up. So we can do that online. We have a system in place for that. We've got our standard ranking system. We've got what we call our fast track program. I just want to explain that a little bit if I could.
Yeah, because fast track program can get the wrong connotation.
Yeah.
What is the fast track?
So this is, I based this off of a long discussion I had many years ago with Grant Tuhon, and it made sense to me. And he said, when I take someone into the art, that individual may come to train with me with a lot of experience. Like, and for example, say I was studying at XYZ University, then I transferred to ABC University. A lot of my credits from that university will transfer, right? Maybe not all of them, but a lot of those credits will transfer. And so he said, that's how I consider things when I grade someone. If they come to me and they've already been training these years in one, it may be, the way that I like to delineate it is, it could be an FMA, Filipino martial art of the Eskrima Kali, Arnis Kali Eskrima family of arts, which are very similar in the way that, in their mechanics. Then that person is going to pick up Pekiti Tirsia, probably a lot faster, because a lot of their knowledge is going to transfer. Maybe they've come from another non-FMA based art that isn't of the same family of arts, but they still have a lot of great body mechanics and footwork and the reactions and the coordination is there. So again, that individual is going to pick things up potentially a little faster. So we'll consider what their experience in another art, especially if it's an FMA where it's a lot more transferable. And based on that, if they come to us and I've been training FMA for 10, 20 years, we're going to move them faster through the ranks than we might someone that has never trained a martial art in their life, is starting from day one with us, right? So we can consider it like an actual university credit system. If the person is already ranked in Pekiti Tirsia Kali and it's a legitimate rank, we have what we call a lateral rank recognition program. So for example, you've been ranked in this organization to, let's say Lakan Guru, and then you come and train with us. Well, all we do is make you, make sure that you are familiar with our curriculum, and that's done online. If you can't do it in person, just demonstrate that you know our curriculum, and then we recognize the rank that you have in the other organization, same rank in our organization. So we have these programs that allow people to get those ranks that they deserve. And again, if someone this hasn't had a chance to rank up, then contact us, info@teampekiti.com, and we'll make sure that we get that taken care of.
And just to clarify, when you say that, you can get your lateral rank, or we can rank you up online, it's not like they're filling out like a questionnaire, like a true or false. No, it's an actual high-ranking individual within the organization assessing you.
For the actual fast track and lateral rank recognition program, it's done by primarily by an actual Tuhon. And Tuhon Kit usually oversees that particular program. If there's a language requirement, then we might have someone of a different rank that speaks that language that will run it. But we definitely have a higher mandala or above level, typically a Tuhon, that will run that program. And then our regular grading program through Pekiti University, we only allow online training for the first three. So the 3 of 6 ranks prior to the instructor ranks, the Lakan Guru rank. We only allow online training for the first 3, but we do have programs, specialized programs to kind of for the following 3. If people absolutely cannot do it in person, we actually do have a program for those that may fall into that category that can help them out in that way also. Obviously, if someone reaches Lakan Guru, that has to be done in person, and if they're actually going to the instructor ranks. But generally speaking, only the first 3 ranks can be done online.
Awesome. All right, let's talk a little bit about because this year you're holding the Asia Conference in the Philippines, right? And the social media, it's been active in letting people know that's happening. Not a whole lot for the USA training conference. How is the USA training conference different from the European conference, from the Asia conference? Does it have its own vibe, its own flavor? What can people expect?
Does. It's a little easier for most people to fit into this schedule. It's only a 3-day event. So, it starts Friday. Some people, they show up on Friday, so they miss most of the first day and they just attend the weekend, which is fine. But it's a shorter event, so it's easier for most people to fit into their schedules. Obviously, because it's within the continental United States, it's a lot easier for most people financially to travel to Utah. There's a major international airport, Salt Lake City International, lots of places in the area to stay. People constantly ask us, where should we stay? There's actually a ton of options within 10, 15 minutes of our training location. So we just give people some recommendations of areas to look. Some people get an Airbnb and split it if they've got a group of people to split it with. But it's a little easier to accommodate, easier to get to. Financially is easier on the wallet, and it does have its own flavor. It's its own vibe. We always spend the day up in the mountains training. It's always a good time. Everyone that comes constantly wants to come back, and so yeah, we don't market it as much as we probably should. There's no specific reason for that, but I think we market some of the other ones, international ones, a little bit further ahead, because for most people it takes a little bit more of a time and financial commitment to get there.
Right. So what is the structure of the USA conference? Is it like the Asia conference, where there's like 3 classes a day?
It's different. Yeah, the Asia conference, because we're, the Asia conference, we're doing it on a beach, right? And a lot of people have traveled halfway around the world to get there. We leave more open time in the afternoon for people to enjoy the location. And plus it gets hot, and we're typically training outside. In Utah conference, on the 2 of the days, we train in the gym. So there's air conditioning. We basically do a full day. We do a training block in the morning, have a long lunch, training block in the afternoon. And then we spend 1 day up in the mountains. We start in the afternoon and train into the early evening. It's a lot cooler up there, lots of trees for shade. And so we just kind of train and have fun. And the way we divide that typically is, normally I'll run a joint training block in the morning. So we'll start off with me teaching the whole group together. And then we'll do break-off sessions. So we'll do do like 2 or 3 break-off sessions throughout the day, where people do a round robin, and we'll get some of the other high-level instructors that are in attendance to teach. So typically we'll have Mandala Jason Jones, Mandala Lamont Glass. Mandala Lamont won't make it this year because of some other commitments, but we'll have sometimes we'll have other Mandalas. Mandala Rob Pagan sometimes has been there. Sometimes we'll have Mandala Lars Helms from Germany has attended a lot of these. Mandala Ray Smith, Mandala Dustin Hinson. So we'll do break-off sections with some of the Mandala level instructors, and have people kind of get to experience some of the different flavor of instructional style that the others have.
If somebody wanted to attend the PTTA USA training conference, aside from the instruction, with the intention of wanting to rank, how does that work? Do you hold gratings during these events?
We do, yeah.
So we do. Once. Yeah.
Yep. And I didn't mention also we have who actually oversees a lot of the grading too, and Jolie Brown will be there, and to run some of the breakoff sessions, and also he helps with the grading. So what we'll do is, during some of the breakoff sessions, some of the instructors that are not teaching will take people that are needing to do some ranking and take them off to the side, and they'll spend some time making sure they get a chance to do their grading while they're in town.
For those who might be interested as well, because I've been to a couple of them, the sparring sessions, again, they're not mandatory. They're, I suppose, encouraged, but it's really high level, man. Like,
it's fun. Yeah,
we at the USA conference are incredible.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with our sparring sessions, and again, we have everyone that that wants to just spar to their comfort level, and we'll, it'll be they can spar. We have nice sparring sessions. For those that may be newer, we do some padded stick sparring sessions. For those that are a little more comfortable, we do some rattan stick sparring sessions, and just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, the thing that that's also really good for people who want to get into sparring is that you have so many high level Pekiti Tirsia practitioners and instructors there, that sometimes when 2 beginners go at it, it seems so much more violent than if there's a high ranking person who knows how to control their emotions and their energy. It's almost better to spar a higher level instructor, especially if they got a lot of experience. If you're a beginner. Yeah,
absolutely. There's a little bit more level of not only physical control of the weapon, but also just that adrenaline control too. That for those that are a little bit more experienced, so they're able to kind of keep things a little bit more. And we also, fortunately, all of our high level instructors, they're coaches, so they're trying not to just show you how great they are, but they're trying to show you how great you can be, with some good training. So
yeah, that's really, really important. It almost seems like sometimes it's coaching by sparring,
Yeah.
Like I've seen moments where the high level instructor sparring somebody would actually be coaching while they're in that process. This is really interesting. It's
Yeah.
cool to see that. All right. Well, let's see. We got a comment from Sebastian. Hi guys, one of my students is going to be ready for his next level and he will be with me. If I want him to grade at the camps, who should I write to?
Well, good question. And I'm going to read that through again, make sure I'm not going to answer it wrong. Next level will be with me if I want him to be great at the camps. So, that's a great question for those like yourself that are ranked in the instructor ranks, which is Lakan Guru and above. You are authorized to grade your own students. So make sure you do that. Okay. Which is, some people may sometimes, because we've got that question before where people don't realize, hey, I could do the grading for my student. If you are in those instructor ranks, absolutely do that. And just for our record keeping purposes, just send us an email, info@teampekiti.com. If you forget that, just go to the Facebook page, Pekiti Tirsia Tackle Association, send a message or something, but info@teampekiti.com, and make sure that we're aware. We can send you out the actual filled out certificate, or at least the template, so that you can have that ready to hand to your student. And then we just need to know those people that are ranked so that we can keep it in our record central database also.
So I got a question, right? Because I think there's something special about getting that rank from headquarters in that environment. So let's say I was an instructor already and I had, ranking rights where I can grade my own students. If I've already graded them, but it would be meaningful for them to get that test in Salt Lake at headquarters with mandalas. Is that something?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, if you've already tested them, it could be just a matter of us presenting their certificate at the conference also. Or you could hold off on the grading and have us do it, when they're with us. So there's lots of ways you could do that, but it's definitely a possibility for sure. Yeah, just need to let us know and we'll be ready for it.
Yeah, I just feel like martial artists in general, they value the ceremony and that connection to headquarters and origin and things like that. So
it's definitely, it's just like it's kind of that same sentiment of training Pekiti Tirsia in the Philippines, right? It's kind of that same thing. There's something special about whether it's an event or a location, gives a little bit more sentimental value, a little bit more meaning when you do that. So
yeah, that's really awesome. So what ranks within the PTTA can grade and rank their own students?
Anyone that's reached Lakan Guru or above. So basically, for those that aren't familiar with our grading system, Guru in the Filipino language means teacher. Okay. And Lakan Guru is our first teacher rank. So if someone's Lakan Guru, they can rank anyone within the student ranks. And then for the higher ranks, moving people up through the instructor ranks, so long as that instructor is not ranking you to their same level or above, then they can rank you also.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, then there's 3 Tuhons in the PTTA. There's you, there's Tuhon Eric Lalonye, and Tuhon Kit Asanas.
Yeah.
If, let's say, Tuhon Eric wanted to rank one of his students to Tuhon rank, how would that work?
That would have to go through the committee of Tuhons. We would make that decision together. So yeah, could he recommend it? Absolutely, but that's something that would go through the organization and at this point the committee of the 3 current Tuhons within the system. We would manage that together. So yeah, that's how we would do it. And I would do the same. If I'm going to rank any other Tuhons, I'll make sure that the current Tuhons are involved in that discussion and that decision. So.
Cool. So Sebastian wrote here, I already graded them, but I would like him to get it at HQ. Yeah, it is kind of special. It's meaningful.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it. Just make sure we've got email info@teampekiti.com. Make sure we've got all his details, and we'll make sure we've got a certificate ready for him.
Fantastic. So is there anything else people should know about coming to the PTTA USA Training Conference?
No, just come and have fun. I mean, you don't need to. A lot of times people will show up, and if you fly in the day before, let us know. We can kind of show you around the gym if you come by. If you fly in the morning of, we have each day we start a little bit later. We start at 10 a.m. each day, so it gives people a little bit of time to sleep in and kind of show up ready, fresh and ready to train. We have training equipment. If for some reason you forget something, ideally you bring your training equipment. That if you and it's not a lot. I mean, if you've got a couple of sticks, a couple of knives, sparring gear, if you so desire, we do have some extra sparring gear always. Just come up and have fun. Be ready to train. Don't worry about the equipment too much. If you just show up and you got nothing, we got plenty of extras at the gym. So it's always a good time. Utah's a beautiful place for those. We've thought about moving this to a convention, location like Las Vegas or something like that. But people are like, what? We love coming to visit the mountains. We're literally surrounded by the beautiful mountain ranges, and for a lot of people that travel to Utah, it's just a novelty. So there's a lot of hiking opportunities for people to do. A lot of people will stay a day extra or come a day earlier or two, and just enjoy a little bit of the nature that we have here. We've got a fairly major metropolitan area of Salt Lake City that's literally surrounded by mountain ranges. And so there's just so much to see here. So it's a great place, great location. We always have fun. We eat well this year, so that those that are coming, we're actually in discussions of, we started a couple of years ago catering a dinner for one evening, which will be the first, this year will be the first evening, would be the Friday night. And everyone just pitches in if they want to be involved with it. And we just stick around it's a big gym, and we just stick around and we eat and enjoy each other's company. This year, we're in discussions about catering some Polynesian food. So we've got one of our members down at the gym who he's got the connections. And so we're talking about maybe getting a pig, spit roasted pig, like a lechon, very Filipino experience, but they do it in the Polynesia also. Get a pig, cook some other, noodles and sweet potato and taro and cassava root and things like that. And just for those that want to participate in that, or people that have particular diets, they can get their own food and join us and be part of the crowd. So
that sounds amazing. Hey, you know what I was curious about? Again, I'm just thinking, because I think I'm going to be there this year. Is there like an opportunity to have like a bonfire where like we're just there all in the same place, maybe a place where we can maybe partake in some, drinks, alcoholic or otherwise? And
actually, this year, the location that we have for Saturday night, when we're up in the mountains, actually has a fire pit. And so, we can definitely do that. I think we've only got it till 10 p.m. But that's plenty of time. And then just make sure we got a designated driver, and absolutely, it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I like that whole mountain sort of getaway bonfire.
Yeah,
Pekiti Tirsia.
It is. It's cool. It's a very beautiful. We've actually thought about taking the whole camp up into a wilderness retreat somewhere, but just logistically, it is easier for everyone to stay in the valley. But like I said, half an hour, and we're at this beautiful park up in the mountains, and we're training up there. So we got to kind of get the best of both: the conveniences of having the places to stay and whatnot in the city area, but then we get to get up to the mountains and do some training. So.
Yeah, because like in the Philippines Asia Training Conference, because we're at the beach and everyone is more or less in the same location, you really get that after hours training, camaraderie, relationship building vibe, like supercharged, because you have hours and hours and hours after training.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe we can talk our one of our instructors down at the gym is full-blooded Navajo, Enos, and maybe we can talk him into doing a sage ceremony with some of the group up there in the mountain if they want. So he loves sharing his beautiful culture with people that are interested. So
awesome. Well, Tuhon, Jared, thank you very much for your time. I think. And we're going to do more of these, right? And it's
we'll do these as often as so long as people are watching them, we'll keep doing them. So
and I think I'm going to take this opportunity to invite the PTTA community to to give us some ideas about what particular topics. It could be drill specific, concept specific, or general, really. But
yeah, honestly, there's so much we could get into. So I'm sure there's a lot of interest out there. And let us know, guys, what topics you want us to discuss in these particular regular podcasts that we're doing. It could be, Pekiti Tirsia philosophical, could be historical, could be events coming up, things of that nature. So just let us know, and we will do our best to discuss them.
We can also invite other speakers, right? This could be a three-way panel where you and
Absolutely.
another Pekiti Tirsia practitioner, instructor can have a conversation.
I think that would be great. Let's actually do it. Yeah.
Let's do that. All right. So if you guys know of any Pekiti Tirsia students or instructors who has an interesting story to tell, or a particular, training philosophy that you would like them to discuss with Tuhon Jared, contact you.
Let me know. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of, or like I said, info@teampekiti.com. Send us an email. Send us a message through social media. Let us know, and we'll get it scheduled in.
All right, fantastic. Tuhon Jared, thank you very much for your time.